Hello, I'm Estelle Johnson, County Administrator here in Charles City County. And today is Veterans Day, November the 11th, and this day is set aside so that we can remember our veterans. This year, due to COVID-19, we decided to do our program virtually to ensure everyone's safety. Veterans Day is a day set aside to say thank you for all the sacrifices you gave for your country. President Wilson proclaimed November the 11th as the first commemoration of Armistice Day with the following words. To us in America, the reflections of Armistice Day will be filled with solemn pride in the heroism of those who died in the country's service and with gratitude for the victory, both because of the thing from which it was freed us and because of the opportunity it has given America to show her sympathy with peace and justice in the councils of the nations. Charles City has approximately 200 veterans that have served Army, Navy, Marines, or Air Force. It's important to remember our veterans. We don't know how it feels to feel unsafe or time away from our families for months at a time. Today, we honor and salute you for your bravery and your commitment to the United States of America. At this time, we will have an introduction of our keynote speaker by Mr. Henry Hayes.
Good afternoon. It gives me great pleasure to introduce our speaker of the afternoon, Reverend Dr. Burleigh Smith Jr. As a member of the American Legion Post 61 in Charles City County, would be our speaker of the afternoon. The Reverend Dr. Burleigh Smith Jr. is a native of Charles City County, Virginia. Pastor Smith graduated from Roosevelt High School in Charles City County. He served 4 years in the United States Air Force. Upon completion of his Air Force tour, he served for 29 years with the Veterans Administration. His career ranged from entry level to chief diagnostic radiologic technologist. In preparation for his ministerial call, he completed studies in religion and pastoral counseling. He has an earned associate degree from J. Sargent Randall Community College, a Bachelor of Religious Education degree from Virginia University of Lynchburg, a Master's of Divinity degree from the Samuel DeWitt Proctor School of Theology of Virginia Union University, a certification in pastoral counseling for the Virginia Institute of Pastoral Care, and a doctorate of ministry from Virginia Union University. Reverend Smith was licensed to preach the gospel in 1988 and was ordained in 1990. Prior to joining the New Vine Church family in 1992, he served as associate pastor and youth minister at Antioch Baptist Church. Pastor Smith and his son, the late Burleigh Smith Sr. and the late Josephine Smith. He's married to the former Sabrina D. Watson of Washington, D.C. He's a father of 2 children and the grandfather of 7. Reverend Smith is a longtime member of the American Legion Post 61, a dedicated member and also very well attuned to the issues regarding the veterans in Charles City and beyond. So at this time, it gives me great pleasure again to introduce our speaker of the afternoon, Reverend Dr. Burleigh Smith. Thank you.
Thank you to County Administrator, Ms. Michelle Johnson, and the Mr. Hayes from the Veterans Foreign Walls. This is such a wonderful occasion and a beautiful day to honor our veterans. So I say greetings to the fellow veterans and citizens of Charles City County and beyond. It is with heartfelt thanks and humility I come because you have selected me to be your Veterans Day speaker. The truth of the matter is I'm a very proud veteran because I come from a long line of veterans. On the patriarchal fathers and matriarchal mother's side of my family, there's a plethora of veterans who valiantly served the United States of America. All through the family, they proudly displayed pictures of our men and women in uniform. I say men and women. That's right. As a matter of fact, I have a cousin, Ann, who was the second Black woman Marine. She came from right across the river in Claremont, Virginia. I have an Uncle Sam who is retired Army, and he spent more than one tour in Vietnam. I'm also happy to be an Air Force veteran. However, most of my forebears served in the Army, Navy, and Marines. Let me just take a moment for a little bit of background for Veterans Day observance. Veterans Day is a United States legal holiday dedicated to American veterans of all wars, and Veterans Day 2020 occurs on November the 11th, today. In 1918, on the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month, an armistice, a temporary cessation of hostilities, was declared between the Allied nations and Germany in World War I, then known as the Great War. Commemorated in many countries as Armistice Day, the following year, November 11th, became a federal holiday in the United States in 1938. In the aftermath of World War II and the Korean War, Armistice Day became known as Veterans Day. So we're here today recognizing veterans for their service. I can't tell you how much it means to me when I'm wearing my veteran's cap and someone says to me, "Thank you for your service." It means a lot. And across the length and breadth of this country, we pause today to honor our brave men and women who have sacrificed to serve. We recognize that our veterans have given of themselves for their country. Some have even given their very lives for freedom. So today, we thank God for those who have selflessly given of themselves for the safety and liberty of all to enjoy. We're beneficiaries of those veterans who sacrificed themselves to ensure the well-being of America. So we are humbly grateful to God and to our veterans. We thank them for serving in war and in peace to defend the Constitution of the United States of America. Thank you to all veterans, regardless of the era in which they served. Over the years, I've had the privilege to share with the old and young veterans. Deacon Henry Crump was the most senior. He was over 100 years old when I was blessed by his wisdom. I believe he was a World War I veteran. Then there was my dad, who would have been 100 this year. And just a few days ago, I attended the funeral of Mr. Wardell Baker, who had just turned 100. He was a World War II veteran. Some of those senior veterans who are yet living, Mr. Marshall Black and Deacon Edward Lee Atkins, are still clear in their thinking. They can still tell us of a privilege it was to serve. Deacon Atkins told me just the other day that he and Deacon Elmore Hatchett entered the service at the same time. They enlisted, and before they knew it, they were on a ship headed for Okinawa, Japan, World War II, fighting soldiers. There were several conflicts to follow, so many conflicts over the years, Korea and others. However, the era of the Vietnam War seemed to never end. I shall never forget, I was standing in line to go when President Kennedy said, "Married men no longer have to be drafted." That line quickly shrunk down to about the third of the length. I wasn't married at the time. However, I was a volunteer, so I was glad to go. During that time, in the 60s, so many young men were called up from Charles City County, going to Vietnam and other places overseas. I thought that one time they were going to empty out the county. Some young men were unharmed, some were injured, and some didn't make it back home. The ravages of war are yet evident today. So today, we honor all of them. Airmen and soldiers know what it's like to stand guard in the dark and quietness of night. I remember, as my mind takes me back, I was in basic military training. They told us how important it was to always man your post and not to leave it until properly relieved. If you were to leave your post, that would be cause for punishment under the Uniform Code of Military Justice. I was standing guard duty on that midnight shift. It was quiet, and before I knew it, 2 skunks came creeping up near my post. I didn't know what to do. No, I didn't know what to do. So I stood as quiet as a mouse, and I did hardly breathe deep. Soon as skunks left, I survived that night. On a more serious note, a very good friend of mine was in the Army station in Vietnam. He was a point man for the squad. The point man is out front surveying the situation before the remainder of the squad followed. This time they were very cautiously moving through the jungle. And all of a sudden he hit a tripwire. A tripwire was supposed to set off explosives and wound or kill all those in his proximity. He was so puzzled because the explosives didn't go off. He knew he should have been dead. And when he could stop shaking in his boots, he investigated and found the tripwire had been rusted through. Right there in the middle of that jungle, he gave thanks to God and decided to dedicate the rest of his life to God. Right to this day, he is a strong soldier for the Lord, preaching and pastoring and caring for God's people. Lastly, I want to talk about serving our community. We might be finished our active duty. However, we're called to serve our community. Our help is needed in serving our community and service organizations like the Red Cross, the American Legion, No Greater Love, Food Bank, Promised Land, Community Outreach, and the list goes on. The list goes on. So my thoughts today to the veterans and to their families and to all who are listening in, keep on serving. Keep on coming to the aid of others. And may God bless our efforts to hold up the Christian banner as well as the USA flag. May God bless you, and may God bless the United States of America. Happy Veterans Day.
Reverend Smith, thank you for that inspiring message. I know that not only did it inspire the veterans, but to their families as well today. And thank you for your service to our country. To all the veterans of Charles City County, thank you for your service, not only to the Charles City County community, but to our country, and for all the things that you've done in your years of service in the armed forces. Today, Charles City County has arranged in partnership with Cole's Courthouse Grill as well as Indian Fields Tavern for a discount for all of our veterans. So if you would like to have lunch or dinner at Cole's Courthouse Grill today, all veterans will receive 10% off your purchase today. If you would like to have dinner or lunch or dinner at Indian Fields Tavern, you will receive 50% off today. And again, on behalf of the Board of Supervisors and myself, Michelle Johnson, County Administrator, happy Veterans Day and enjoy the rest of your day.